BBC Radio London.
Singer-songwriter James Riley, when the pubs and the bars closed, he took his music to the rooftops, where he entertained his neighbours and made waves on social media. For his most recent concert, James been teaming up with Grime artists to raise money for Food Banks UK, and James is on the line now. So how did that collaboration come about, and why that charity?
All the sort of big social movements that happened this year were much in my mind, particularly the big stuff going on in America and Black Lives Matter and all of that. We'd had all these different bands up on the roof. I mean, we did 21 weeks of gigs up there. We'd had my country band, we'd had a brass band. It was a wonderful experience. People were line dancing in the street. It was great. You know, the elephant in the room for me was that, like, I live in Tottenham, and Tottenham's sometimes called Hollywood for grime. So I just started to think, you know, with all the talk of sharing a platform and elevating voices that aren't normally so much heard in the mainstream, what does that look like in my life? And so I started thinking, well, it'd be really cool to reach out to some grime artists, because it would be a really interesting musical collaboration for starters. I've made an album in Nashville, and I'm more like country Americana based, so I thought, you know, what will happen if we combine those two things on my roof? And it might also be a chance of kind of orchestrating maybe a bit of an encounter between parts of the neighbourhood that might not normally have that much to do with each other. So, you know, I started reaching out in earnest during lockdown when there weren't any gigs. You know, I was slightly daunted because I'm a folk musician, but I eventually got in touch with Kays Mensa, who's a local Tottenham grime MC, and a gal called Tina Tammy, who's raised in Jamaica. She's got more of a kind of ragga flavour to what she does.
Shall we hear a little bit of it, and then I'll come back to you?
Please.
But I'd head back to tea, back to my quarter, back to the lane. And I ain't a supporter, black boy from White Hart, that's my corner. I remember them days, ride bikes in the parks we played. Ride bikes up and down them lanes, that's Broad, Ferry and Lord Ship Lane. Cutting through Turnpike, and I'd ride down Green Lanes. I was like 8 or 9, or even 10, I was by them lanes.
Find me by the lanes, winding by the days. Still so much has changed, for the good and the bad. Find me by the lanes, winding by the days.
From the trenches, baby, they don't really show love. Keep applying pressure, I could never fold up. The system never cared, they got families in the slums. These kids dissing mums cause they got no decorum. I'm heaven sent, baby. Yeah, I'm heaven sent, baby. Listen.
One of these days, one of these days, one of these days, one of these days, I'm gonna spend my
Heaven sent, baby.
yeah.
So all of the gigs we've done have been in aid of this amazing initiative called Live for Love, also set up by a local person from Tottenham, and all of the donations go towards supporting vulnerable people in and around the UK.
From Tottenham, James Riley. There it is.
Thank you. One of these